I am obsessed with making silly little guys, and Spinda is no exception. That's right. I invented Spinda. If you happened to be here back when I had 2 subscribers, then you might remember a video I made where I made a couple of extra Spinda patterns. It's a solid idea. In fact, so solid of an idea that video I made last year was a remake of some Spinda patterns I made back in 2019. I just can't help but revisit this idea. So the time has finally come where I'm going to make some definitive Spinda patterns and not delete them from the internet within seconds. These ones, they can live. The whole thing with Spinda is that the dots on its face are unique to each and every single Spinda that exists. The odds of finding 2 Spinda with the exact same pattern is commonly debated, and depending on who you ask, the number can range from 1 in 4 billion to 1 in 288 trillion, which is almost the same amount of subscribers I would have if everyone watching just hit that subscribe button. I tried. That's pretty much the whole gimmick, and I freaking love it. I think Spinda is cute, and I like that whichever one you catch has a high chance of being completely unique to you. Unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of polka dots. I'm sorry. I can make exceptions, obviously, but there are just better shapes and patterns, let's be real. Look, if you love polka dots, I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I think you're awesome. Love those polka dots. They're just not for me. As you can see, I've made a Spinda template, and I'll just be using this for all of my patterns because it's easier to see how it looks this way, but stay tuned because I will make official art with some cool kick-ass poses. In the past Spinda designs I've just kind of made the spots different and that was it, but I really want to take these and make them a bit more unique. Make them stand out a little more than just not having dots, you know? My first pattern is a square Spinda with little triangular tipped ears because it's adorable, obviously. It doesn't stop at the face this time. No. For these designs, I also want to design the belly differently, so I'm kinda doing this cross-like design. I've achieved this by simply taking a bunch of squares and arranging them around the perimeter of the body markings. It just so happened to make a cross. Now imagine for a second if this was real, even if just in the anime. That way we could have had little cross-bellied Spinda in the Pokemon Center with Nurse Joy. In another universe, it happened. The last thing to do is give the patterns a new color. This will help it stand out a ton more and keep it separate from its polka dotted counterpart. I decided on a vibrant blue. And now that I have wrapped up that design, it's time to move on to Spinda number 2, which will actually be an anime referenced Spinda design. In fact, truthfully, I pretty much can't take the credit for this one at all because it actually does exist and my design is very heavily influenced on the real thing. Similar to how I did that baby Celesteela based on the one Sophocles imagined in the Sun and Moon anime. This is Heart Spinda. I started off with a very obvious heart around the eye and also scale-shaped tips on the ears, which resemble the top of love hearts. The belly was nice and easy too. I just drew in half of a heart shape and then mirrored it across to the other side so that my concept drawing stayed symmetrical. Now, I wasn't entirely happy with this Spinda just having one heart on its face, so I did add another. I imagine if this were in the game, it would just have a random assortment of hearts based on the seed it generated upon battle. I thought making the heart upside down would be a detriment to the overall vibe I'm trying to convey, but it actually does the opposite and really reinforces the philosophy behind the look, so I'm keeping it. For color, I want it to be pink, but not too vibrant that it loses the vibe, and not too pale that it blends in with the base color. I need a Goldilocks pink. My final design is the crazy one, of course. This is the one that started it all for the 3rd time, which normally is something I'd reveal in the intro. I would say something like, I was daydreaming in the park when all of a sudden a dog peed on my leg and it gave me the most incredible idea for a Spinda pattern. You know, just Kaifa things. Hashtag I am so random. Hashtag I'm not random, I'm a potato. Oh, fuck. Initially, this was just Stripes Spinder, but I finished the design in T-1 millisecond. It was done before I could remember how to spell the word stripes. I was cooked. I don't know if I said that right, but I've had this problem in the past. I was cooked. I can't just make something before fully blinking and throw it on my YouTube channel like, oh, this is my state-of-the-art Spinder design, which came from the depths of my massive mind. No, I know I'm a wild child from time to time, but this time is not one of those times. I've been playing the new Sea of Stars, so, you know, time is on my mind. I expanded on my stripes idea and went with a sort of circles, spirals, Fruitiger Metro, putting my Windows 7 desktop into the nature theme and playing Minesweeper with flowers instead of bombs because I'm just so green core. That's honestly the best way I can describe this design, and I ran out of breath saying it. I know that after a week off I should be feeling more refreshed and coherent, but I'm still me. This is what you subscribe for. Anyways, the final touch on our Fruitiger Spinda is, of course, the nice cool green, which I really dig. I never actually used to be a green fan in my early years, but as I've grown older and much wiser, I have come to really appreciate the beauty behind green, aqua, grayish, more cooler colors. That and flaming orange. It's a bit like my music taste to go straight from butterfly to martirio. Alrighty, it is now time to take a look at the final artwork. Kicking off the show, we have Square Spinder. I thought it would be a little fun to have methods of shifting Spinder's form, so if you want a square Spinder, all you need to do is feed it 5 blue Pokeblocks, effectively rendering this as a Hoenn exclusive form. Poffins won't work because they're round. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules, I just make them. Nextly, it is Heart Spinder. In order to transform your regular old dotted Spinder into a Heart Goblin, you must max out its friendship. This is Cupid's girl indeed. And last but not least, but definitely the most experimental, it is Bubble Spinder. I went through a couple of different names like Circle, Spiral, Fruitiger Metro, but Bubble was the one that stuck. To get this specific Spinder, you will need to have it in the lead of your party and then spin clockwise for 10 seconds and then counterclockwise for another 10 seconds. Spin your character, I mean, don't run around in circles. That's not very good for you. Now, if you are for some reason wanting to revert your Spinder to its usual spotty self, all you need to do is feed it a reversal berry, which will transform it back to the unique dotted pattern it had before. Regardless, those are all of my Spinder designs. I really truly hope that you like them. If you have a favorite, then please let me know which one it is in the comments below. Also, I've been posting my art, but more frequently now, so you can see it on my Instagram, which is at fakemon, or my Tumblr, which is also at fakemon. I've been posting stuff there, so if you want to see the HD artwork, that's where to go. I don't have Twitter, and I barely post on Blue Sky, so those aren't reliable, but Instagram and Tumblr, go check them out. I've got links below for everything that I'm on. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every single Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live on Mirage Island, just like me, except for last week, because you guys were very nice and let me take the week off. Yippee! Alrighty, I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!